In this video, we are building a simple contact form from start to finish. We'll have a full form validation and we'll store the data in a real database. We'll be using Next.js, Drizzle, Neon, and Shadcn, and this whole project is open source. You can find the link below. We'll even write some automatic tests using a really cool testing tool. If you've been struggling with server actions, handling form data, or just want a clean example to follow, this one is for you. Let's go. First thing we are going to do is to initialize our new Next.js application. So I'm typing in npx create next app latest, and I'm going to name the project simple contact form, like this. Yes, we're going to use recommended defaults, as you can see here, TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind, CSS, and app router. And now everything is being installed directly inside of my projects directory. We'll have the simple contact form directory created, and inside everything installed and ready just to run it. There it is. And now we can go to that simple contact form and run pm dev. So now when we go to our localhost 3000, we can see the default Next.js screen and we have our project up and ready. And now we need just a simple form on this index page. So let's go to Shadcn. We want some kind of card to put it on the middle of our screen. So I'll search here for card. I'm typing in Command K to open the search documentation, or you can just click here. And I'm searching for card. There it is. And now to install it, we are simply running this command right here and opening a new tab in my terminal, pm dlx shadcn latest add card. And yes, we'll create components or JSON. We are choosing here stone color, and now everything is being initialized and we have Shadcn successfully implemented inside of our project. So now we can open our code with code.command. Here it is. I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you can see everything. I'm using Cursor AI Code Editor. There it is. And we can see that we have our components.json file. So everything is initialized and we can go to our default page. And here, I'll just remove everything that is by default here and this image right here. And we can just use the usage here from the Shadcn documentation. So I'll add here the card component, and I'll also add here whole usage inside of rendering right here. And now if we go back to our main index page, we just need to restart our dev environment. So I'm running pm dev again and refreshing my local host, and we have here our card. Awesome. Now we just need to style it up a little bit. So I'll add here the main like this, and we can now just let AI do its thing. We just don't want this height screen. We can put in just a little bit of margin of 20 to move it away from our top. And we can see that it is too small. So we are going to put here inside of our card that our max width will be, let's say, XL, something like this. This one is good for forms. So this should be good to work on. We have now our card. We can just add a little bit of title up here. H1, just say simple contact form like this. So we know what are we doing here. And to put here flex column and a little bit of gap, let's say gap 5. Nice. So we have now our heading, we have our card, and we can add here our form. So let's get back to the Shadcn documentation, and here we'll type in inside of our search form, and we'll use React hook form for this tutorial. And in this example right here, it is using the latest Shadcn components, including the field component. And we have here an entire example. So here, if we go to the build form, we have here an entire form file that we can just copy and paste inside of our project. So inside of our components directory, I'll create a new file and I'll call it contact form.tsx, and there I'll just paste in the entire thing from Shadcn. Now here we can see that we are missing some dependencies, so we have to install this. So let's add first these React hook form dependencies that we need. So we're going to the terminal, running pm dev, and then React hook form. Then we need these resolvers, so we're adding the hook form slash resolvers, and we need Zod. So let's install those three first. There it is. Awesome. Now we need to add here our button and also Sonar, and we'll do that from the Shadcn documentation. So here we are going not to the button group, we are going to the button right here, and we'll just run the pm/dlx Shadcn latest add button, and we'll also add the Sonar component. This will add also all the dependencies that we need directly from Shadcn. So now we don't have any more problems except here. So we need also field, input, and input group, and we can add all that together like this. So input group, and field. And all these components will be added automatically inside of our project. There it is. So now we shouldn't have any more warnings. There it is. Everything is clear. We can see here if we have any errors, it would be visible here with red color, but everything is fine. Awesome. So now we can go to our page. Actually, let's first go to Sonar. We need to add it here. If we go to Sonar, we need to add it inside of our layout. So here we need to add this toaster. So I'm going to the layout file, and below here beneath the children, I'm adding the toaster, and we need to import it from components/UI/Sonar. Nice. And now we can actually go to our page, and inside of our card, we can just put our form. And it is called bug report form. We'll change that one later. So we just want to test it out right now and to close this card content right here. Awesome. And now we can go to our landing page. Everything is broken because we need to run our dev environment again, running pm dev. And now we should see our form right here inside of our card. There it is. Awesome. It already has a card outside, so we can even remove our card from here. So I'll remove everything like this, and I'll just leave that card inside. Boom. We have our form and everything is working, including the validation. We just now need to change everything for our contact form, and then we'll save that data actually inside of our database. So I'll just remove here these imports that are not used, and now let's just change this bug report form to contact form. Okay, so let's change here from title to email, and this type will be now email, not string. We can remove all these maximum minimum characters. Here it can be a message, and also we need to change text. Now AI is really good for these things. It's really silly to do these things manually. We can just tab this until we get it done. So this one, the first input field, it's an email. We are just putting here, changing from title to email. Then here we are changing to message. Also the titles here, and now it should be good, except inside of our page, instead of bug report form, now it is called contact form, like this. Let's check it out if it's looking good. So we have bug report still here. Let's return to our contact form, bug report. This one needs to be just contact us like this, and it can be like this, help us improve by contacting us. That one is good, I guess. So we have now contact us, help us improve by contacting, email, message. Here it should be 1000 characters and include steps to reproduce. We'll just remove this description entirely. So let's just see here, yes, 1000. And this description, this one, we can just describe your issue in detail. No, we'll just remove this one. Like this. Nice. Let's see if we have an import. Yeah, this import we are not using. We can remove that one. And we have our form ready. So now if I click submit, we are getting here invalid input for our email. So we need to have actually a valid email in order for this one to work. And this message needs to be at least 20 characters. And it's working only when we cross those 20 characters. So this one is good. If we submit, we are getting this one, and we can send this to our backend in order to save everything inside of our database. That's our next step. But before implementing database, let's first create tests quickly for our contact form. And we'll use one awesome tool that is called TestSprite. So you install that one inside of your cursor, and you simply say create tests for my contact form using TestSprite. Nothing else. It's easy as that. And now TestSprite is automatically going to create tests for us while I'm working on implementation of database and ORM. And for our database, we'll use Neon and Drizzle. And the easiest way to implement that one is through the to-do app with Neon Postgres documentation made by Drizzle. So here we just need to add all these dependencies. So let's add them quickly here. So adding Drizzle ORM and Drizzle Kit. Then we need our Neon database serverless, adding this one. And we also can use the .env, but we don't really need it because we are using Next.js. And now we can just create a new Neon project. So I'll go to my Neon right here. I'll just log in and I'll create a new project, and I'll call it just a contact form, and I'll create that one. And from there, I just have this database connection string. I can copy this one and I can put it inside of my env file. We don't have that one yet, so let's add it. Env database like this, URL equals, and then my connection string. Now don't share these connection strings to anyone. This should be secure. That's why it is in the environment variable. And now here we'll add our tables. So let's get back to close this one. Let's get back to the Drizzle documentation. Next thing that we need is to create a Drizzle TS, and we'll create a DB directory inside of our root. We can see here that TestSprite is creating everything for us. So I created DB and then new file, and here drizzle.ts. I'll just paste it right here. We don't need this one and this one. So we have our database URL. That is good. Awesome. Let's continue. Now we need to declare our schema, and that one is also in the DB directory. So here I'm creating schema.ts and I'm copy pasting everything. So here we need our contact, and we'll let again AI to do everything. So we need email, we need message, we also need created that, and we'll add also updated that. And that one is coming from the timestamp, which is from our PG core. This one is using Postgres. Nice. And this is everything we need. Now we could add here, of course, a lot more, but let's just make it simple like this. So now we just need our Drizzle config file, and that one should be inside of our root directory. So I'm adding that one here, drizzle.config.ts, and pasting it. Again, we don't need this .env, we are not using it, and we are not using the sources directory, so it's directly inside the db schema.ts, and now we should be ready. And now we can just simply run here npx drizzle kit push, and everything, our schema will be pushed to our database. So now if we go to my Neon here and go to the tables, we can see that we have here our contact table created. We have ID, email, message, created it, updated that. So we have everything, and our database is ready to receive some data inside of our database. So let's now work on that one. Let's see first what is happening with our TestSprite. So he wants to create some execution commands. Okay, let's just click here to continue. So we can see here it is running tests. Awesome. And we see also here in the TestSprite test, we have some PRDs and tests. This is really good. We'll see it later. Let's now continue with our implementation. So we want to write data inside of our database table, and for that we'll create a server action. So I'll create a new directory called server in the root, and there I'll create contact.ts. So here we need the use server directive, and we'll create a create contact, just a simple function that is adding the contact inside of our database, but we don't want this ID here. So in order to fix this, we're going back to our schema, and here, instead of this integer, I'll put here UUID from the Drizzle ORM PG core as well, and we'll just add default random. So this one is creating by default the random UUID. We don't need to worry about that one. And we can now go back to the server action. We can see there are no more warnings. So here I'll just add a simple try catch, and we can now use this one inside of our form. So let's go back to our form. It's called contact form right here, and we have here on submit, there it is, and we can just remove this entire toast, and we can call here create contact, just like this. And we can put also try catch to put a little bit of these. Let's put here async as well. So we can put a little bit of toast to say if the contact was created successfully or not. We can also remove this error from here. We'll just say failed to create contact. And now we should add our contact when we are using our form. So let's check it out. We are going back to our project right here, and I'll say here test@orc.com. And here I'll say just rubbling like this. Awesome. And now we'll just click submit. So now everything should be failed to create contact. Okay, awesome. Let's see what's wrong here. So we're going to our dev, and oh, I know what's wrong. We didn't remove our database. It's still using the old ID. So I'll just drop this table right here, and we can run again the npx drizzle kit push. So now we'll get that new change that we changed with UUID, and now we can actually add. So now if I submit, we created our contact successfully. Nice. So here now if I refresh, we are getting our contact table, and we have that contact successfully saved inside of our database. So we finished everything. Let's now just see if we have our tests and if everything is working correctly. So we have here 10 tests created, and they're written in Python, and they're covering all some different scenarios inside of our form. This is really interesting. They have also end-to-end tests. They're using Playwright. And if we see here, we have the raw report also here of all the past tests. So 7 tests are passing, 3 are failing. So we need to fix that somehow. We can see it also in this report right here. So we could put like some generation of reports and put it inside of our project or somewhere in the documentation. That's really interesting for teams to use something like this. So you should definitely check out TestSprite. I hope you enjoyed in this video, warriors. For more content like this, join the mighty Horde, subscribe.